Hey there, everyone, and welcome to another video. I'm Cassandra from CassandraTyndall.com, and today I'd like to share with you some insights around Mercury in Taurus, its upcoming retrograde, and what this can actually mean, how you can interpret it for yourself and with your chart. So there's lots to cover in today's video, but before I get there, I just want to remind you that the sale that I had on my recorded webinars and classes is continuing. So it will be until this Sunday, which will be April 9, Australian time. All of my classes that are available for download on my website are 20% off. So I'm going to share my screen with you and show you how to get there. So basically go to my website, CassandraTyndall.com. There's also a tab on the homepage, but you can go to the Learn Astrology tab, recorded classes and webinars, and scroll down and there's the selection here. So a couple of really popular ones, of course, the 8th house, Mercury Cazimi, and it's also not Mercury Cazimi, it's more Mercury and its different solar phases. We've also got planets that are Cazimi. And one that's been really popular is my horoscope writing webinar. So in that particular one, I share about 17 years of writing horoscopes experience, how to approach editors, how to approach the actual, what do you talk about, what do you don't, and how to approach different types of horoscopes. So whether you're writing dailies, weeklies, monthlies, or annuals, which I am up to the eyeballs in doing right now for an Australian publication. So all of those webinars are on sale, 20% off, and the code you need to access the discount is LEARN20. So happy shopping, and I hope you enjoy some additional astrology learning. So Mercury in Taurus, today's Wednesday morning, and Mercury moved into Taurus, which would have been Monday, April 3, and rather its usual sort of 3-week tour of Taurus, it's going to be there for 2 months. So it's going to be there till about 11th of June. And that includes the retrograde phase, a phase of astrology we all love so much, right? And the retrograde phase is going to run through from the 21st of April through until the 15th of May. And the degrees that Mercury is going to backtrack through is from 15 Taurus back to 5 of Taurus. Now, I'm not going to go like really deeply into the nitty-gritties of the interpretation of this particular cycle. More what I want to do is help you look at it perhaps in a more broader perspective, because every single Mercury retrograde phase, every single planetary transit, we can go to kind of like what I might describe as the obvious or a little bit like the low-hanging fruit. Of course, our minds might be a little bit slower, or getting an answer from a text message may take a little bit longer. Mercury is already a little bit slow in Taurus. I find natives with Mercury in Taurus can tend to be a little bit slower on the uptake, not in a way that is bad or anything. It's more like they may need to hear something more than one time to really grasp the concept. Okay. That said, once it's in there, the memory retention's really good. And that's something I actually really envy in Mercury in Taurus. So I have Mercury in Gemini, and it's speedy, like it goes at top speed on the day of my birth. So I can grasp things real fast, but it kind of goes in one ear and out the other. What I love about Taurus is that they remember the detail. And so this can help us to take a leaf out of a Mercury in Taurus's book and think, well, how can I slow down my thinking? How can I take a little bit longer to make choices or decisions, rather than just perhaps thinking quickly or impulsively? How can I really look at one thing or one situation from a multitude of different standpoints, and then sort of choose that proverbial hill that you want to die on, right? Because once Mercury in Taurus makes up its mind, it will not change. Now, how this will apply to us as individuals and our birth chart is going to be a little bit different. And so my first step in figuring that out for somebody would be, okay, well, Mercury elemental years change every 6 years. So in other words, we will have a Mercury in Taurus retrograde every 6 years. So 2023 is an elemental earth year for Mercury retrograde. So if you look in the ephemeris, you'll see that Mercury will retrograde through Taurus, through Virgo, and through Capricorn this year. So it is a time where we're perhaps rethinking some of the earth components of our birth charts and our lives. You know, food, money, resources. I mean, hello, like that's already very apparent in the collective, right? But on the personal, you might be thinking about, okay, well, what was I going through in 2016, the last time we had a Mercury elemental year in Earth? What areas was there maybe a little bit of trouble, or things took longer? What thoughts or ideas were stirring in your mind, and what house topics do they apply to? So that's what I want to go through quickly now, is to give you some idea of the house topics in your birth chart that you're going to be working through in 2023. So if you have an Earth rising, so this is going to be either Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, Mercury retrogrades are going to be pinging your 1, 5, and 9 houses in 2023. Now, this is kind of, I think, an exciting time for retrogrades, because these retrogrades will prompt a rethink of identity, you know, who you are, how you show up in the world. Mercury also will give you that opportunity to get to understand yourself a little bit better, what makes you tick. And when you can understand yourself a little bit better, you are more open and available to grasp or accept or move into greater opportunities, right? You know, when you know yourself, you can look at the world through a different eye, you can grasp opportunities, or develop new and emerging philosophies, which then in turn will activate the 5th, and therefore you may get some new creative endeavors that sort of stem from that. Of course, this all will happen in a different order depending on which rising sign you have, that's Earth, but that's the general gist of what you're going to be working through with these Mercury retrogrades in 2023. Obviously, there's the hiccups, the misunderstandings, the delays, and the confusion. But sometimes I think there's enough of that on the internet that everyone's talking about. Like, let's talk about something different, something with a little bit more, you know, what can you use, or how can you apply these themes to your life and to your chart? So if you're fire rising, right? So we're looking at Aries, Leo, or Sag. You know, you're looking at houses that are 6, 10, and 2. So these are the work and money houses, right? So these are going to change up your resources. Maybe you're going to be developing some new skills, or, you know, working harder that maybe help with your public reputation, or, you know, recognition in some way. So it's a lot about work, money, resources, and how that reflects, you know, more career or professional or a public manifestation there. If you're a water sign rising, this is Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. The houses that are activated for you are 1, 7, and 11. Sorry, not 1. It'll be 3, 7, and 11. That's it. They're the ones, 3, 7, and 11. I was going to say that doesn't feel right. So this is a very social year for you when it comes to Mercury retrogrades. So this might be increased activity with the Mercury retrogrades, whether it's one-on-one relationships, business relationships, your friendships, your networks, your groups and communities. That also pertains to the online stuff as well, audiences or followers, etc., etc. And then, of course, the 3rd, which can be sort of the siblings, the local neighborhood stuff. I also like to think of your friends who are almost like your brother or your sister. You could also pop those people in the 3rd, you know, sometimes. So it is kind of a busy time socially, relationships, and other people in general. So if you're an air sign rising like myself, you're going to be having a bit of a what I like to call a bit of an inheritance here, in a sense. You're looking at your 4th, your 8th, and your 12th. So this can be inheritances or the shifting of resources that come through family or lineage. It can also be a period of time where you're facing fears and phobias, your 8th, 12th sort of dynamics. And, let's be honest, where do most of our fears and phobias stem from? Our childhoods, our 4th house, the things that we were kind of taught and told. So business, these resource changes through relationship, through business, through marriage, through divorce. And then that sometimes can activate, fears, phobias, but also when we sort of look at those dragons in the face, we can sometimes get some kind of more spiritual awareness or, those sort of deeper intuitive insights about ourselves that generate from the 12th house as well. So I do have webinars on the 8th and the 12th and how they overlap and how they're a little bit similar in that webinar page 2, which of course 20% off with that code LEARN20. So that's a bit of a way to kind of look at the Mercury retrogrades in a more holistic fashion. So I'm going to let that information sit with you. I'd love to hear about your own birth chart, which sort of triad or trigon of houses are going to be active for you, and how might you be able to see some of those themes or topics start to emerge already. And if you're still in the dark and go, I have no idea what she's talking about, just think back to 2016 if you can. What were you going through there? What were you facing? What you were dealing with? What took a long time that shouldn't have taken so long? And Mercury retrogrades in Earth signs can be a little more frustrating to deal with from the standpoint that Mercury loves to move quickly, but in Earth is a more of a slower moving element, particularly in the sign of Taurus. So this particular retrograde is sort of going to be a little bit interesting from the standpoint it almost hits Uranus before it stations and retrogrades, which will sort of be about the 21st. But prior to that happening, we also have an eclipse, okay? And so this Mercury retrograde does carry through a bit of an eclipse vibe along with it. But I might save those insights for another video. If you don't want to wait for that, of course, there's always the Golden Circle. So the Golden Circle Club is my astrology membership, my sort of premium group of people who sign up and get all the insights from me in advance each month. There's community, there's Q&A every month, forums, plenty of free resources and special offers there as well. So if you really want to maximize your astrology learning, your sense of community in the astrology arena, but you don't want to spend a lot of money, that is definitely, hello, Mercury's retrograding in Taurus soon. The Golden Circle is really great value, and you get a lot of access to me in that space. And we have loads of fun there. So I do invite you to join us, and I'll pop a link for more details about that in the description thingy below. So that's going to be all from me. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your attention, and thanks for listening to me ramble about all things Mercury up until this point. So again, those webinars are on sale until the weekend, till Sunday, and the Golden Circle is open and welcome. You're welcome to join at any time. So enjoy Mercury in Taurus, and I look forward to a few more retrograde insights with you very, very soon. Okay, bye for now.